Things just go. It does,
The living room, where the family meets to
they sound
discuss
about three-quarter.
issues,
Yeah,
any
it should be
issue
even better.
which may be bothering
that's
one
very
of the family members.
Alright, cool.
That's what we
I
do
had to check
each
my
and
microphone.
every Tuesday on WAC 90.1
you
FM
did it.
with
You
Ricardo
did
Mitchell
it.
and DJ Aaron 868. We have casual conversations on serious topics,
cool.
from sports to
Alright, you still
culture,
good, right?
mental health to economics, relationships to life lessons. Join us each and every Tuesday on WAC 90.1 FM. The Living Room, casual conversations on serious topics.
It is now 6 p.m. here in Trinidad and Tobago. I don't know what time it is where you are, but I'm glad to know you're locked onto the True Nation Station WACK 90.1 FM, where we are
Culture crazy.
First and foremost, let's kick this off as we always do, alright? Must give thanks and praises to the Almighty for granting us the gift of life and seeing another day. No matter what time of day it is, you must always
Give thanks.
Secondly, we must say thank you to those that went before us, and we are not just talking about our ancestors, the original inhabitants of Trinidad and Tobago, because we all know, accept, reiterate, and the same would be chest that Columbus lied. But also to our brother in music, Tony P, where the P this week stands for
Pink salmon era. Pink salmon.
because we're matching.
Out of all the things I could have possibly looked to throw on, because I couldn't come on the people on them airwaves in what I had on. Out of everything I could have pulled on, it turned out that I'm a matching kit with not just you, but your curtain.
Yeah, that's really a coincidence.
But yeah. So pink salmon. You know what? Because I was gonna wear maroon and I was saving that for the semi-finals, but I need to do that again.
And things line up so perfectly that we would have played that semi-final in Brian Lara, you know.
Yeah, what you could do, bang?
But then again, no matter what, where we finished in the table, we would have had to play unless we were playing India in Brian Lara. Because, here and some... Anyway, let me don't get down into no conspiracy, nothing.
Yeah.
You know, when I was given the usual intro, something really crossed my mind.
Yeah, right.
I saw...
there was a pause. A pause.
Yeah, and that something is the fact that, do you know that there's still contention between who is the supposed king of Trinidad and Tobago? With respect to the native tribes and all these different things?
Oh. Well, all right. I'm curious. I'm interested. Go on, expatiate.
So you know that there's the king of, he calls himself the king of Moruga.
Like currently.
Yeah. And then there's the original, the First Peoples tribe.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's another tribe located in San Fernando. And all three of them are fighting to be the rightful king of the country. I may be paraphrasing everything a tad bit incorrectly, but with the native tribes that would have originally inhabited Trinidad and Tobago, their descendants are claiming that they have rightful stake to certain pieces of land and stuff like that. So different groups are staking their own claim. And there's an element of war that is taking place between the different tribes as to who is rightful. I will not say the kind of war. It is not any physical anything.
Mm-hmm.
Right? But there's a type of war going on. So if you are a praying person, I ask that you do cover yourself with prayer. Not just for that war that's taking place, but also for the war that is taking place, the war on crime. Because and the reason why I say cover yourself with prayer is because your personal safety is your responsibility. But the additional coverage of God, or by whichever name you call him or her, is also important. So if you know you're not supposed to be going somewhere, please don't go. But also for the places that you normally go, just ask God for a little guidance and protection, please.
Yeah, one of my favorite things to do every week, Aaron, is
Is
try to decode the things that you want to talk about, but you try not to talk about them in a manner that could get you or the platform in trouble.
Yes.
So I hear you. Yes, I understand where you're coming from. I could hypothesize. I could hypothesize. Trinidad and Tobago is rife with various types of warfare.
And tourism.
There's poverty tourism, which is
The new thing, that's a new fad.
allegations that men paying for the pass and things, so that's how come they getting to go into certain zones and do certain things. You know what? I'll be honest with you. There's only so much that I have the capacity for. In terms of when these people on the billing cycle come around, I had to make sure that the lights stay on. When I reach by the cashier, I had to be able to buy my food. So while I have tendencies towards advocacy, while I do consider myself a civic-minded citizen, while I do try my best to engage as much as I possibly can in as positive a manner as possible, here and where sometimes I just want the juice, you know.
And admittedly, that is something what I wanted to talk about today. Pointers know when it's tired, right? But before we go any further, it was remiss of me that I did not introduce tonight's program. This is The Living Room with yours truly, DJ Aaron 868. I remind you each and every time that culture is my code alongside my pro bro with no fro, a lot of flow, and all of a sudden in the same color.
Hey, Ricardo Mitchell, the social stage and the global stage. Yeah.
Let's work on planning a little bit better, please.
You know, I kind of think it works. Right, this hue it does a lot for our different complexions. I think we look spiffy.
So our body curtain.
You know, I could change my curtain to something a little more Easter like yours. But let me go down the road where people start to wonder if your living room is my bedroom and vice versa. Now, let me leave clear differentiation.
How you can hypothesize that?
Well, I just said if my curtain was the same color as your curtain, Aaron. Can you find out would that be a bit much?
You divide by the Harry Potter news.
I did not get to drink my coffee. Alright, so right now neural fumes.
Before we go any further as well, the reason why I bring up that dividing by the Harry Potter news is because unfortunately on Sunday night, West Indies would have lost the game against South Africa after putting up a batting display, which is not unknown to West Indies cricket, where we would have had 57 dot balls out of a possible 120. If you're a mathsman like me, that is just under 50%.
That is 9.5 overs.
Of 10.
9.5 overs.
Sorry, 9.5 overs of 20.
Yeah.
Which is just, again, a little less than half. So you're telling me we had 63 balls, of which we scored runs off of. And just for good measure, I think we lost 9 wickets or 8 wickets.
8, if I'm not mistaken.
Right. So 8 of those balls as well, which will take us to 65, were also dot balls. So essentially, West Indies only scored.
I'm going to say 55. 55.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, right there with you,
No, 65 were dot balls.
Oh, okay. All right. Which means what left 55.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Right? So, which left 9 overs, or just a little more. 9 overs and 1 ball for us to score 132 runs or thereabouts.
Yeah.
Which was adjusted by the mathematical system, which is even more confusing than differentiation and alliteration.
I think
matrices. I don't know which part of calculus does teach that.
Them fellas, I know how them fellas come up with our system. Right? I don't know how them fellas come up with our system. But you know what? You know what is the hardest thing about having watched that match? Hey, by the way, big up Ginger Mendoza in case you happen to be listening. You made the right call when you say you're not giving up another night's sleep to watch the cricket. I
Give off one.
I like to tell you, to stay up, for one, you needed your tablet and them. You had to take your tablet and them before you sit down to watch that match. Right? I was upset by how many opportunities we had to win that match. Now, it's clear how many opportunities we had to lose it. All right, I want to say a special good night and good evening to Nicholas Puran. How you doing, sir?
I'm not going to say we took all the opportunities to lose it, but barely took any of them to win it.
Now, let me put it this way. In terms of our fielding performances, it is sad. It is sad that the difference between winning and losing that match were one or two errors by your wicketkeeper.
The man with the biggest gloves on the field.
The man had one or two balls that went past him. Alzarri Joseph hit him. I kind of cut and he take a big catch the next over. There was a ball that went for 2 runs that kind of gave up confidence. Yeah.
As the buys, yeah.
Right. I mean, I can't vex with Moti because at the end of the day, the man ended up getting sent in against a specialist spin batsman. Right.
Klassen played a class innings there.
I ain't like to tell you, I'm pretty certain we would have really liked to have back 10 of them runs though.
Yeah.
What I'm saying is that
For Obed McCoy, oh my gosh.
we were beaten, but we helped. We aided
in our defeats.
Yeah. I don't think we deserved to advance when you look at the myriad ways in which we failed ourselves as a region last night. Well, night before.
And I'm going to say it wasn't just that. Since the England game, I jokingly told my mom that if we did not lose to India, there was a higher possibility of us losing. India, my bad. Wow. If we didn't lose to England, there was a higher possibility of us losing to America. Because for me, no matter in a series, West Indies has the tendency to always pull out a bad performance. And there I was thinking that we got that bad performance out against England.
We could have won last night, Aaron. We could have won last night. What I am curious about is looking at the ripping form of one of my personal favorites, Ruston Chase. That man only bowled 3.
And very remember, the 2 that bowled 4 was Alzarri and Andrew Russell.
Mm-hmm.
But remember, only 2 people could have bowled 4.
Yeah.
So, and for me, Russell started off hot and sweaty with them 2 in the first over.
Right.
And he maintained that economical spell.
Mm-hmm.
Alzarri was a threat with his pace and bounce.
Threat. I would have hoped for more from him though.
As did I. But I think Ruston Chase, honestly, if I had to pick
Stella.
no, I wasn't going to say Stella. But if I had to pick a performer for the team, for the entire World Cup as a whole, our 6-game, I think it was stint, or 7-game stint, Ruston Chase would be number 1.
And I know that is a big deal for you because you weren't a particular fan of him before.
I was not, so he continues to prove me wrong. So to my bald-headed brethren in Ruston Chase, congratulations and commiserations to the team as a whole. But as I told somebody on Twitter yesterday morning, they said, oh my gosh, West Indies, this heartbreak is too much. I reminded them that as a West Indies fan, heartbreak is part of our diet.
What was
so we take a no, honestly, Ricardo, no matter what sports team you support, there's a level of heartbreak associated with it.
Aaron. I hear you. But we had way too many chances last night to still win that thing. My issue is not being outplayed, is them moments, the key moments between being good and being great, where a lapse of concentration, a outright bad decision, sheer hubris. Case in point, right? You are down a wicket in the first over, right? Barely survived 2 ball to go into the second over. And at the start of the first over,
Actually, it was 1 ball. He was out on the second ball.
right. You decide you want to put pressure on this man. It's like, you don't think it's more important that you are there for a couple overs than for you to put pressure on a new bowler, on Mark? And who said to the captain?
And that's my thing. Let me finish the point I was making before, and then
Anyway.
so I was saying.
No, you want to hear.
Oh, okay, all right,
Good.
all right.
You get my,
Yeah.
you get my, you drive mad at her. Anyway, go.
No, right. So let me finish the point. So what I'm saying is, there's a level of heartbreak associated with any sports team that you support. I'm not grieve, feel how you had to feel, but we go again after the World Cup with another series. Now, to get to your next point that you just raised, West Indies cricket has been plagued by many issues. And we're not talking selection issues and all them things here. The selection issue I choosing to address today is shot selection.
Shot selection.
Just like as a DJ, you had to know when to pull out the big tune. You can't start your set with your big tune. You had to ease the people in, and then you climax. Nicholas Puran build your innings like a DJ. Play a couple.
Oh, you could make it up.
Exactly. Don't come swinging from ball 1. Well, tune 1, sorry. I forget the analogy I was using.
Yeah, stop.
Right? Shot selection has plagued us for numerous years. The second thing that has plagued us for numerous years, which I saw some level of correction too, throughout not just this World Cup, but the series against South Africa and the Australia warm-up match, was the rotation of strike. Because that is how a lot of teams beat West Indies.
Yeah.
We know we could hit the 4s and the 6s. We could hit the ball 120 meters, but could we put it 35 meters into space to get to? And that for me is...
It's a rocket science, enough.
That is what was needed last night, more than Andrew Russell coming out and deciding to vote and want to out one time.
Yeah, but
That was not necessary. Well, I'm just saying. Build that innings. You are the last recognized batsman. That 6 and that 4 went to his head. He knew one time you want to come back on to face Rabada. Brother man, relax.
run out yourself in it.
Run out yourself.
Puran faced the captain first ball, right? Win like that. Hit into the win, if I'm not mistaken. And
Yeah, it held up anyway, yeah.
Alright. You already are wicket down, so now you're 5 for 2. You're 5 for 2. Right? That is put way too much pressure. Way too much pressure on your third and fourth. And
On your fourth and fifth.
what I looking at now, right, is one we had. It was an interesting night of cricket, admittedly. The pitch wasn't giving you that much, but South Africa were utter trash in the field, right?
Yes, boy.
Miles could have played a mark and get through because
Scott Chase get dropped twice.
right? Miles get dropped twice and the LBW. Well, the LBW was a legit LBW, right? No call. But what I mean is that. So that is when the hope I had, that all we had to do was better in the field and we could have take them. And you have a Puran now, anyway, whatever. I'm not singling him out, but I am singling him out, right? At the end of the day, big up Dwight Stewart to make a good point. It's time for us to get a wicket keeper who could bat, as opposed to a batsman who could wicket keep.
We ain't trying it.
Why Puran?
You hear the pain in my voice now?
Yeah, I'm here.
We had shy it.
I hear it. Kenny gonna not adjust the levels, all kind of thing.
We had hope and hope.
Why Nicky get the gloves over Hope?
I guess because Hope was not playing since he started the tournament. We only get Hope in the last 2 games now.
Nicky gave me one batting performance on note, you know.
Yeah.
If I'm not mistaken, I think it was against Afghanistan? Or was Afghanistan he thump up?
Yeah, it was Afghanistan. But again, as I say Afghanistan, big up Dwayne Bravo and the Afghanistan team. They are if once they, I don't know, well, we recorded on Monday afternoon, which was before the Afghanistan-Bangladesh game on Monday night. But providing that, I would like to go to the Barnard Stadium on Wednesday if Afghanistan is there. So if anybody from ICC is listening, you could drop off the passes at 129C Coffee Street in San Fernando, which is Wax Studios, addressed to Aaron Williams, and I'll accept 2 hospitality passes. And Ricardo and I will be coming to the cricket.
Hey, and I like to tell you, you all again interview and thing, we treating all area nice.
Exactly. That was cricket, right? You know, this next thing I'm going to say.
Wait, one last thing. The cricket. One last thing on the cricket, right? Because this real upset me. I like our new captain, you know. I like him.
But I hear any but.
He have a bad over in it. He have one bad over in him in terms of a bad decision.
But could I juxtapose that? Is it that the captain has a bad decision in him, or is it that the coaching setup has a predetermined bowling lineup for the innings?
Hey, you on the field?
No, I just asking.
Right. We lost our England game with a bad over. Right?
It have paternity leave in cricket.
He should have taken it before that.
He should. Exactly. No, not. He should have taken it when he may be born, so he wouldn't have been there for the England games.
Right?
Exactly.
Moti last night, I know you had to use him, but sending him in again.
Yeah, he sent him in the wrong time.
They sent him against the wrong man, and then you wasn't able to use him again. Although you could have probably used him for that last over.
Anybody would have been better than McCoy at that point.
So as I say, he have a bad decision in him.
And with time he'll learn, huh? With time he will learn.
And not forgiving Puran for his...
I know for about...
He just made too much money and he played too much cricket and he's too highly regarded for some of the nonsense he has been doing. I think...
I would have left out the first point. But...
the headlines, the man already selected for the next IPL, what are you telling me?
Serious?
Yeah.
With Lucknow?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
What I'm saying is, dude, you I mean, don't get too big for your britches.
Yeah, I understand that.
Yeah, his head not in the moment in the game anymore.
You know, before I move on to my next point, you know what I remember this weekend? I saw a TikTok with a coach. I was on the TikTok app. A TikTok with an English football coach comparing the drills that up-and-coming players at grassroots level do. How similar they are to the drills that seasoned professionals like the Stern Johns or the Dwight Yorks, or for the younger generation, the Ronaldo or the Messi, or the upcoming generation, the Bellinghams and the that guy from Germany, the young boy. Musiala, thank you very much. Right? The drills that they do are not dissimilar to the drills that you do when you are now learning football. But you know what's the difference in it? Is that the mistakes that you would have made when you're now learning are not the same mistakes that you should be making 10 to 15 years into the sport.
All right.
So, and in no way am I knocking any athlete or anything like that. We are all human and you are allowed a bad day.
Yeah, correct.
But on that bad day, you should still do the basics right. Catching. Catching. Yeah, Darren didn't help. If we had continued, we had a momentum going after Darren.
And that wet ball and wet... Oh,
yeah, all that little...
Oh, boy.
But again...
I can't hold some.
But again, I'm just saying, even as a professional, on a bad day, do the little things right. Catch the ball well. Make sure that your backlift is where it's supposed to be when the ball is being bowled.
Russell put on a kind of stupid one hand, pick up something that allowed them to
Thank you.
turn around and
Utilize-
and back on strike.
Utilize the long barrier method when fielding the ball. All these things, do those little things right. Because if you watch it, even Australia's defeat to India yesterday, and Australia's catching has been atrocious for this World Cup.
Australia has some atrocious catching.
Exactly. But what I'm saying is, the catching may have been bad, but they still did the other things, little things right. The level of intensity that they kept throughout their game never waned. So Darren Sammy and your coaching staff, kudos to you for turning our fortunes around. But we still had to make sure that on the bad days that we played, and that we're not disputing that we're not going to have bad days. But let's still focus to do the little things right.
Yeah.
With that being said, we rally again. We have series against South Africa coming up, I think immediately after the World Cup. And then we have a series against England later this year.
Are you saying is I watch West?
No, the England series is one time after, because I think the test team gets selected already.
I watched West Indies beat India, England, and New Zealand in the past year. I am looking forward to continuing my streak. All right, my streak.
What's they trying to say when you go to this win?
All I saying is Cal. All I saying is ICC. Organize your boy, and all you go have more wins. That's all.
I think you had to talk to WICB.
No. Hey, if you're an IPL side, win too. Get me there. Just get me there. I will even support Puran. We'll be playing for.
Wow.
I will cheer for him.
Wow.
Cheer for Puran. I will support him.
No.
Yeah, we're moving on from cricket.
Yeah, this weekend, I would have attended the festivities down in Superior for their borough, for the Clean Juve.
If I knew Superior regular, this wrong play.
I have to be. Anyhow,
They have to be.
And-
Get to be.
have to be. Come on, man. It's a nice part of the country.
I thought you get to be. Anyway, this is me actively listening.
Anywho, back to the Juve.
Your voice getting
No.
way.
Yeah, right.
You're like, all the time it's ran by Superior.
Anyway, so the festivities, they were not well attended. I guess it's because it was their first ever time celebrating first anniversary of being a borough. But I was happy to see a huge turnout of youth. But at the same time, I was displeased to see a huge turnout of youth. Let me explain why. I have a serious problem with DJs. Right? One, when has the rule changed that DJs could play songs with explicit language in public?
In public?
Yeah. Has there been some kind of change? Because I could say the other day I play on a boat ride, and there's a famous Jamaican song from back in our time, Cardo. The scrub down anthem, we would call it.
All right.
From the time you hear the talk, 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 you know the sound that coming. And I happened to play an unedited version of that song. And I felt bad. That was on a boat ride.
Yeah. But he's a Christian, so you're going to feel bad about these things now. That's your conviction starting to increase. Big up you. Listening.
Beside that, also my level of professionalism. That you're not supposed to play unedited music in open air public spaces.
So it's more your career than a conviction?
Both of them is hand in hand. It's hand in hand, you know?
I like how you answered that there. I was trying to...
Hand in hand.
if I could discombobulate, you know. But
No, it's hand in hand. Not like how poor and let the ball pass right there. No, not like that. Anyhow, right. So, yeah, but right. But I heard a lot of DJs playing music with obscenities on the Juve route. So now again, I am in no way fighting down a young DJ here, but I'm just saying, clean music, please and thank you.
Okay. I hear you.
Right? Secondly, time and place. You see all that zesting that is being inciting violence? Listen to that in your home, in your bedroom, on your headphones. When you see a public space, that is not the time or place for that. To quote, I think it's Kes. I think it's Kes. No, it's not the time for that. No, it's Cohen de Bois. No, it's not the time for that. It's not the place for that. No. Listen to that home. Because it brings to my third point. You see substance usage and abuse?
Mm-hmm.
We always say you need to know self-control. I really sound like an old man here, but because I'm 100% sure my parents would have complained about this when I was 16 and 17 coming up.
Movado
And Cartel and
Beanie and Ninja Man and them want to.
But my thing is, you see that substance usage for the younger generation. Alcohol ain't going nowhere. It ain't going nowhere. I should not be waking up High Street in Superior at 8 o'clock on a Saturday morning. Yes, it's juvie. But I should not be walking up the road and seeing the police having to be slapping your face and soaking it down with club soda because you overindulged. Alright? Some self-control, please. If you know you don't do it in terms of drink, then continue not doing it. One drink is enough. I understand peer pressure is a real thing. But you also need to learn the ability to say, hey, I had enough. I find my head spinning a little bit. Drink some water and stop. And also the last thing, to the young men out there, when Bam Bams are rolling up bountiful, study the Bam Bams and not pelting butter.
I hear you. Excellent point, Sol. Excellent.
But let me hear the rebuttal now.
Not a single one of them was complete as far as I'm concerned. With no disrespect to them being points, I just think it's like, yeah, water wet here and water wet, right? A huge Sonata use might be one of the reasons why you didn't see a different crowd there. Alright, let me call a spade here, and I don't even like using that term. That term actually have some racial connotations, but let me move on.
A spade is now a garden tool?
It's also a condescending term from a black person. Yeah, with reference to being darker than the ace of spades. Anyway, one of the things I want to point out is that this weekend there was several multiple homicides. Several multiple homicides, Iran. You really think it's so important to me to recognize my community getting through as a borough that I'm going to risk coming out to a place where music with explicit lyrics being loudly played, where youth going to consume and overconsume alcohol, where different communities going to be coming together, right? Where substance abuse is something that at the end of the day you only have so much control over. And people out here scared, and tired and frustrated. So the youths and them over-exercising escapism, but that's because they're seeing older people than them doing it. Right? Men beating the gazelle right through, men smoking the decriminalized right through. You don't have a day could go down San Fernando and then smell some funk in the air. Right? They do have a street you could pass on and then pick it up. Right? People overindulging in escapism. Right? You're going fat because you want a little too wine and a bamsi and to feel good, because you need a break from your hard life. Right? Here's what I say. Right? You asking people to put reasonable caps on the escapism. That is an unrealistic proposition in itself. Right? It's like how much is over the rainbow? Right? How far is down the rabbit hole? How deep is through the looking glass? what I'm saying is that once you start to engage in these spaces, it's not to do it with limitation, it's to do it to escape or to pursue something. Now, as youths, we overdo alcoholically. We may have even indulged verbally, right? But you hear the catch, right? Nowadays, it has been decriminalized. And for some reason, people think that means it is no longer illegal or it is an acceptable social norm, right? So you will stop down the road to buy a phone card, and the man is selling the phone card, smoking.
I could interject here
You interject him.
because I'm glad. No, this we show. I'm glad you brought that point up, huh? And I think this is something we need to have a conversation on at some point. What is the difference between decriminalizing and legalizing? Because at face level is, I think it's an amount, right? A weighted amount or something like
It's
that.
an amount and a usage.
Right. So, and that was one of the things I realized as well. And I'm not just talking about this weekend, but in general now, as you rightfully said, you're walking through Sando and you're seeing a group of fellas stand up, probably just randomly, I don't know if the lineman or whatever the case is, and everybody.
Yeah.
I saw a man this weekend, I think was in Marabella, walking through with a branch.
Yeah.
And so,
And I telling you, men burning it and then jumping out the road and walking taxi and thing.
right, I don't know. So I think there's a conversation that we need to have a legal specialist for us to understand that part of it now.
Yeah.
But with respect to the escapism, I understand the severity of that, because nobody is saying do escape, you know. I don't know. I could be naive in asking for people to have a little self-control still in the escapism.
Hey, all I'm saying is thank God that I'm in a season of my life where I'm trying to build a life that I don't want to escape from. Right? Thank God that I am making decisions, right, that not leaving me with consequences that I would have to escape from my life. Now, I want to point out something else as well, in terms of just the level of exposure that people have in terms of the decisions that they're making. Right? Yes, we used to drink. Yes, we used to burn it, etc., etc., etc. But the accessibility that there is now to these things,
It's great.
underage drinking has always been a problem in Trinidad and Tobago, and don't let anybody tell you otherwise.
I'm not gonna say yeah.
Right? We were around when they actually implement or start to actually exercise the laws that stop the sale of cigarettes and alcohol to minors. Because we had a culture where they used to send the children by the shop to get it.
I'm not gonna say that. I shouldn't say that. But
Right.
you can.
Right. I mean, we were reflections of, it was a reflection at the time, and we know better.
Yeah.
We do better. It's like people used to smoke on airplanes, right?
People just smoking clubs.
Yeah, people used to smoke inside the house and thing, right?
Yeah, man.
When you know that is absurd. But anyway, so there's that. But the access that these kids have to pills nowadays, right? It's ridiculous. And I'm talking plain, eh? Them thing, you not supposed to take them thing in conjunction with other things.
Brother man,
This pill and punch in life that these youths and them on,
no. I had addressed this one now, you know. You talking pill and punching? What about Sprite and cough syrup?
syrup and lean and them kind of thing.
Well, I didn't want to say that because I know how the tube is work now.
Right.
So, but what I'm saying is, can't remember where I was telling this story, but the other day, Friday, when I finished radio, I passed by an establishment and I said, boy, there's a place I used to line by. I said, let me stop and take a beverage. Because my friends who I used to line with then, they're still working there. Let me stop and take a beverage with our brethren. And a young man walks up to me, probably no older than 17 or 18. Pants well below his buttocks. And offers me the sale of the herb. I say, no thank you, sir. I don't. indulge as such. And then he's like, all right, well, cool, I'm gonna drink some of this and I'm gonna keep it pressing. And proceeds to go into his hoodie, and the hoodies are the candle pocket.
Yeah.
And pull out a Sprite bottle. But the liquid is looking Sprite-ish. Okay, those Sprites is a clear liquid. And he proceeds to take a sip, then take another sip. And I'm like, so excuse, young man, what's that you drinking? Because I'm not gonna lie, I'm a little naive to those things, huh? And then he proceeds to tell me what it is, and I'm like, oh, okay.
No. One of the reasons I risk the wrath of the algorithm is on the off chance that we can educate someone who is listening, because they may not know that this is what the kids and the grandkids and them up to.
Oh, well, then that's it. Yeah.
Right. So I will chance the algo, and let go take the lead on the thing, right? Here what is happening here. While we have to be mindful of social conventions, we also require to not conform either. Right? So I will take the chance. Parents, be mindful of the things that your kids are exposing themselves to. Right? We have to be mindful of the fact that they have access to things that we did not have access to. We have to be mindful of the fact that they have disposable income that we would not have had. We have to acknowledge the fact that they have friends who have access to disposable income, even if they don't themselves. Right? We can't make decisions for them. The best we could do is educate them and hope that with our examples that they make good decisions. However, when your kids make bad decisions, you have to navigate the bad decision-making process as opposed to just navigating the bad decision itself.
And the bad decision punishment.
Right? Even the concept of punishment, listen, you could apply consequence, so that it is discipline. It doesn't have to be punishment. Right? Discipline is a corrective thing. Punishment, being punitive, is not even a system of justice. Right? What's in is discipline is with the intent to correct. Right? Anyway, that's a whole lot of talk for a whole lot of time.
I'm not gonna say that because yeah, that really because if we get into that tonight, we might infringe on the big band that's supposed to start at the top of the hour.
All right, but I just want to again reiterate that the kids and them going to be making bad decisions. And
can't stop that.
I wouldn't say that there's nothing you could do about it. I'm going to say that there's less that you could do about it than you think. Stay prayed up, but also educate yourself in terms of communicating. Educate yourself in terms of some of the psychological and social ways that you could approach these situations. Read a book. Watch a video. Educate yourself on how to communicate with your teens and your kids based on the different stages that they're going through. Recognize that you have different children, so there's a very real possibility that what worked for one will not work for the other, and you might have to treat each child, gasp in astonishment, as an individual human being. Right? Let us be mindful of the fact that we pass on our genetics to offspring. So if you know you're punishing a child for things that you were doing, you have to be mindful that is you set the blueprint. We have to be more mindful of how we're dealing with these youths, because they are seeking environments and they are seeking societies that are going to treat with them in a different way than we are. When we had Kadeem Charles on a couple months ago, and he was speaking about what it is them youths and them were looking for on the block, right? He said it was the lack of fatherhood and a sense of community. Right? These youths were being given purpose. Right? He was paralyzed from the waist down because he was going and look to get a little weed smoke so he could get his hair combed to go to work the next morning. Right? He was in the wrong place at the wrong time, but at the end of the day, he was in a place where the best behaved kids would go to go and take a sweat.
And that's the next thing, huh? And I'm glad you're bringing the sweat aspect to this, Ricardo. Because the next side of this is there's also the high possibility that even in quote-unquote safe spaces, there's a huge level of risk. Look at the men the other week that was taking a sweat.
Yep.
And somebody just come and spray.
Look how much news in the last year. The children.
And you see, the thing for me is, I had to put myself in the scenario here. As a man is going sweat, I wouldn't say almost anywhere, but as go and sweat.
Yeah.
So when no, whoa, I changed my ways. But what I'm saying is, for the ladies out there, we know this is Men's Mental Health Month, and a lot of men use the sweat as a form of relief. And even in the sweat, there's that level of risk. Even going to the grocery, going in the shop, there's an inherent level of risk now that we must stay aware of.
A friend got robbed at gunpoint, had her car stolen when she was buying paint in the middle of the day. Down Labrie. What is he really telling me?
Right? So, yes, I understand all these different things that we would have spoken about in terms of the escapism and all these different things, but all in all, your safety is your responsibility.
Yeah, but the collective safety is the government own.
I know, but let me finish my statements now.
Stop leaving such long dramatic pauses, Aaron. We only have an hour to talk, you know.
But since you bring that up, that the collective safety is the government own, a huge part of the government held an event on Sunday, and there was disreputable behavior on that sports day.
Yeah. Oh my, but the comments though. Oh my gosh.
Boy, here now. Remember, one of the watchwords is here for the comments.
Yeah, boy. Mine is a reconstruct of Dostoevsky's statement that, listen, if you want to see the level of society,
what the comments?
Go into the comment section, you know.
You saw the article, or the headline, an article of the gentleman which was relieved of his items at a short stay hotel in the Barataria region.
No, I didn't. I did not. I was not privy to such.
You see, I had to word it carefully. Yeah?
They don't call them once. I think again, or they're too fancy for that.
I don't know, but I just call it a short stay establishment.
Yeah, short stay establishment.
But the catch in it is, Ollie, you see that online dating thing? But please be careful.
You know what, Aaron? Let's dedicate a moment or two to some, social well-being. Guys, if you know you're from the country, right? And you're going up to the town to buy a car, cash. Right? Well,
in 2024, we still doing that?
Try and meet by the police station. Even if the person you was vibes in with tell you, hey, I guess stick up, come and meet me by so-and-so.
We'll meet another day.
Come on, guys. Come on. You telling me in 2024 people still getting robbed trying to, through Facebook Market, and you're going to buy a B15 and Almira, and you going to buy car cash from people that you meet online and you meeting them in these nondescript areas? Yes, man. Yeah. They're still getting take.
Brother, man.
And man, buying phone, you gonna buy a phone from a stranger you meet online and you working at 6,000. What? Come on, man.
Again, I can't talk, huh? I can't say nothing.
You went and buy a phone.
You know, she purchased a laptop.
Right.
And I took the advice. I met the young man by the police station. And when I say by the police station, I mean inside the door.
Yeah. Officer,
I just come to transaction here, and so I saw the officer. I was like, where's I buying there? I tell him, he said, not a problem, he could wait. Big up the officer.
Big up the officer.
Can't remember his name, that's what not there.
It was a while ago. But before we over and we marinate in that space for too long, I want to point out something else, ladies and gentle people. Right? TT TT Post is not sending you text messages from different countries to see that the package that you did purchase is pick up, right?
You know how much that I get?
Well, let me explain how a con works. A confidence scam. A con works based on one of two things: your trust and your greed. The idea that you would have won a prize for a competition that you did not enter is one that plays on your greed. Right? Somebody telling you click here to receive a package that you know you did not purchase is playing on your greed. They are also using established organizations because now they are playing on your trust. Right? Guys, you might be blessed, but you're not that lucky to win something you didn't enter.
You can imagine. This is a totally hypothetical situation. And then CB send you a text to tell you had win the $20 million lotto made in play.
Yeah, right. So just
Again,
walk with 1,000.
just go here.
Walk with 1,000.
No, walk with 1,000, the deal for your house, and the certified copy of your car by Mokarapo Street Market at
Right.
Friday night, 8 o'clock, and you'll get the 20 million.
By the man of the popo.
And you know what?
Out of
You
season.
go in.
Yeah,
No, you go in.
Because we wild.
Hey, as we talking about season and out of season and things like that, if you have a Governor Plumtree, hi, pleasant good afternoon to you.
29 Superior Street.
No, I just telling you hi. Hi, how are you?
Yeah, so you're in plums.
Yes.
Okay.
You know, going on the highway the other day, I saw yesterday, I don't know the green and the yellow one, I never know what's the name of that one. I see they start selling it. I'm afraid because I know that season is coming like late July into August now. So I'm afraid I get a batch of young plum.
But that song like the next big Zest artist.
Young plum?
I saw a part of
Sorry. I see that they have one called Plum the Boss.
I am clueless. But you know what?
I only know because of my little cousins. Must say a pleasant good evening going out to my little cousins Zion and Karis, who keep me abreast of the youth of today and the things that they are into. With that being said as well, I must say a special good afternoon going out because we getting perilously close to the hour 7 now. So
Yeah.
I'll have a couple things.
Again, you're 4 minutes again.
Me?
No, just generally. But go ahead.
Oh, yeah, because I think we only have like 5 minutes again. Must say a pleasant good evening going out to the team at Our Lady of Perpetual Help Catholic Church as Harris Promenade in San Fernando. They will be having their harvest on Sunday, which I will be at the harvest, and not just at the harvest, as they're having a disco as well for the youths. So yes, I'm one of the guest DJs for the disco. So if you're looking for somewhere to take your kids on Sunday for them to experience some good clean fun and a good time to socialize with their friends, because socialization is important, you could bring them across to the disco as well.
Yeah, that's nice, man. Especially since school gonna close and so, depending on the season they're in, some of them not going to see these friends again.
For the next 8 weeks probably.
SCA results coming out on Friday, God willing.
Yeah.
Yeah. So God bless. Congratulations to all who have written, because even if you did not pass, you crossed a checkpoint.
Yeah, the first hurdle.
Right? There's a much longer race ahead of you. Alright, so that's alright. It's not how we start the thing, it's how we finish. And for those of us who start well, I challenge you to continue racing as if to win. Alright. What else? Any other announcements, Aaron?
There was one other thing, but you could go ahead. I know there's something that you would like to speak about.
Yeah, I just want to invite the male listening population to check out an event, a male safe space event that is going to be held on the 4th of July at Fresh Press Factory at Current Junction in San Fernando. It's so cold in San Fernando?
No, current that
Cookie? Let us call it that junction.
between Cookie and St. Martin, so current.
Alright, yeah.
Yeah.
Right. I should really check out what the official address is. Anyway, yeah, there's going to be a men's event, right? I think it was for $200 that has food and refreshment inclusive. Kivo is going to be there as one of the hosts. I'm going to be one of the hosts as well. We have, I believe, Richard Trumpet, and the key feature host, I believe, is a gentleman by the name of Dominic Dos Santos. I have to double check the flyer. But anyway, all I'm saying is that to wrap up Men's Mental Health Month, we have a space where men could just come and sit down and eat something and blag our fight.
What time on the 4th?
I think it's 7 p.m. You know?
Okay.
I think it's 7 p.m.
Check my calendar.
Yeah.
My almanac.
But I will give you guys more concrete information next week, God willing. But at the end of the day, I just want to remind you guys that there are a plethora of ways to healthily express yourself.
Correct.
I big up my brethren Twine. He hit my phone call earlier. I hope to catch up with you soon. Twine, Naeem, Karen, all you. I really hoping I get a chance to go off with my brethren. I've not seen a lot of y'all in a long time. Fellas, we had to do better. Right? There were too many reports on yesterday's papers. A gentleman attempted to unalive himself after dealing several chops to ex-girlfriend or something along those lines.
What?
Another one, he and the ex-common law wife fall out, and they end up in some massive scramble, and he end up having to be hospitalized. I'm not sure if it was fatally or not. I believe it was fatally. What I'm saying is that, come on, gentlemen, we had to be a little more proactive in terms of processing, right? So, for those of you who are interested, check us out on the 4th of July. I will probably reach out to a couple of my peers nonetheless to see if they're interested in being in a space like that. But I'm going to continue doing my part, not just on platform, but also in my private capacity as well, to do better.
Yeah, +1 for that song.
How you come true? How you come true? The only reason I didn't volunteer you to be on the panel is because you're busier than me.
But here now. And in closing, that is the last thing I want to say. Fellas, we know that there's a unwritten responsibility in us to provide. But the dead can't provide.
True.
Rest is as equally as important as work. So as much as you want to work hard to provide not just for yourself, but for your family, remember rest is important too. An intentional rest. Not rest when you crash.
Yeah.
Take preventative, just like how we say, take preventative measures for your health, take preventative measures for your rest. Take a nap. With that being said, I am yours truly, DJ Aaron 868. Culture is my code. And I tell you each and every time that love is the currency, so spend some today. Let somebody know you love them now.
I'm Ricardo Mitchell, the social stage and the global stage. Reminding you guys that the hourglass is opaque. We don't know how much time remains, so whatever you're doing, be good and stay safe. Thanks for joining us in the living room this evening. And Aaron, what's up next?
The Big Band with Mr. Desmond. Keep it locked.